All right, traders, welcome to today's midday review. It is Thursday, December 20th, and I'm doing the quick 5-minute review a little bit sooner in the day. It's right around 11 o'clock today. Why am I doing that? Because it's pretty slow. There's not a lot really in terms of price action. We're kind of in a range for the day. I've got alerts set all over the place just to kind of watch. I'm going to start with a couple macro things first. The dollar, which I think is always kind of, has a lot of implications, is down 40 basis points. So kind of interesting, it reversed. It was going higher yesterday after the Fed announcement. It was kind of gearing up. And you could kind of see that, right? We started the day lower in the dollar. This is after the Fed, the dollar went higher, but it's back. It's weak again. So, this again, like I said, it's got a lot of implications. Gold is also all over the place from yesterday. If you remember, gold tanked yesterday after the Fed when that dollar was moving up. But look at what it's doing. It's back to the, it's taken out, well, right now it's basically back at yesterday's highs, but it actually did take out the highs. We continue to see call buyers come in to gold. So gold and gold miners, that's probably the most interesting space right now that I think in terms of option activity, it's been pretty consistent, is that there's call buying in gold. Make sure if you are playing in this market, again, I can't give any recommendations or advice, but gold is very whippy. So make sure you've got alerts. I've got a couple positions. Right now I'm day trading a little bit of Nugget, which I did that yesterday. So you got to make sure every time I trade Nugget that I've got to have an alert. But, we broke into value right on the 5-minute bar, but it just doesn't look like, kind of like a lot of things today, they don't look like they've got momentum to the upside or downside. So I wanted to cover that because I think there's definitely some action there. I'm also watching things like the yen, which is kind of intriguing as well, up 60 basis points, and that is outside of the downward channel. If you look at the 6J, you could also look at FXY. But, something's going on here. It's been in a downward channel for a while, and you can see this is the first decent break. You could see that the RSI was improving here, and we're now out and above the 50-day moving average. So if you're looking at this and you want to play along, say in FXY, you could use that top of value. Let me go over the major indices. I think it helps to kind of look at the 5-minute bar. You could see that IWM, I'll start with that because that has been leading the market moves. But we're right down on the bottom side of it. And so what I said to the trading room earlier was, if the indices break into value, I'm cool with playing them to the long side. If they break to the downside, I'm good with buying some puts here. And actually, it looks like we just broke the range. And I just had an alert trigger for IWM. Same thing for Qs. You could hear that's my Qs alert too. Qs, same thing. Bottom of value acting like a really great buffer. And really helps me not to kind of take trades until it's a change in trend. And we hit that bottom of value, tagged it perfectly. Didn't have the power to get through it, and we're down on the bottom side of that. Same thing for S&P. It's the exact same thing. This one, I think we're a little bit further away from value, but we're still stuck in that range. But it looks like IWM is kind of leading the move here, and you got a red bar there. So we've got more downside. Right now, we're down 90 basis points. Also, the biotech and small cap healthcare is also very weak today. So just be mindful of that. I think we are getting to the point, but I will use my indicators and trust what I'm seeing here. Because I do think we are getting pretty close to a squeeze higher. Again, not a change in trend, but at this point, just a squeeze. But I think that's in the cards the next few days, but I'm not going to predict when that's going to be. I'll let the price action dictate that. Somebody asked me on Twitter, and I think a few other people, hey, what do you think the next move is going to be? I don't know. I mean, I think that it is what it is. We're getting very oversold. We are starting to get oversold. I shouldn't say we're getting very oversold, but we are getting oversold. And it looks like at some point, we're probably going to have a decent bounce off of this, right? Markets don't normally go straight down in a line. I also see that everybody is bearish on Twitter. Like everybody's talking about doom and gloom and so forth. So that's usually, considering, the market really does its own thing, doesn't pay attention to what everybody is saying. When everybody gets onto to one side of the boat, that's probably when we'll get that bounce. And I think we're getting pretty close to that, but I will let the price action tell me that first. And then I will jump in and do some things on the long side. But I don't think we have that day yet. Maybe that's tomorrow for quadruple witching. Got a lot of big moving parts going on. Should be the heaviest one of, if not the heaviest day of the year, volume day of the year. It'll be close to that. I would say top 3 volume days of the year coming tomorrow. Also, SPY and all the S&P ETFs go X tomorrow. All right, guys, that's it for today's video. Thanks for watching.